no use, little shrinkies.
Brad, we're trapped.
Yes, you are.
Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and we wrap up this month with another of the Kroft Super Show segments, Dr. Shrinker, which was one of my favorites throughout the run. Of course, starred Jay Robinson as the title character. For more about his career, check out my review of Horror Hotel, the TV show, not the film. Okay. And his assistant was Billy Barty. And for more about him, my look at the Paul Lynde Halloween special. The main actors here were Ted Eccles, who was a popular television actor. He appeared on like The Waltons and MASH and Quincy M.E. and on like TV movies like Bad Ronald. After his time as an actor, he then went on to become a producer. Playing his girlfriend is Susan Lawrence. Again, another actor who appeared a lot on TV, mostly sitcoms like Happy Days, Welcome Back Kotter, Mork and Mindy. She then tried to branch out into more mature work, playing a stripper in the horror film Blood Rage, which was one of her last credits. And of course, playing her brother is Jeff McKay. Now, he, if you're a fan of TV shows, was a he was one of an ensemble in the Black Sheep Squadron, which is also known as Baba Black Sheep, based on the rather exaggerated exploits of John Pappy Boyington. At least the show kind of exaggerated stuff. And then he was the sidekick on Tales of the Gold Monkey, both short-lived. But he then had a reoccurring role on Magnum P.I. He was the naval officer that Magnum would get information from, and his character was killed off in a very seminal episode in which Magnum has to track down a Russian agent who he had encountered back in Vietnam, and was one of the very emotional impact ones, and one of the darkest endings when Magnum finally did in the agent. Basically, McKay's character had said, "Hey, let's go see the sunrise," and then started his car, and the car blew up. And then during the final confrontation, where the agent says, "Yeah, you're not going to shoot me. You're not like that," and Magnum kind of agrees, and then he says, "Oh, did you see the sunrise this morning?" The man said, "Yes." Boom. Cold ending. Anyways, the basic plot of Dr. Shrinker, which we get in the opening credits, is that three teenage kids in their plane, Brad, BJ, and Gordy. Yes, they named the girl BJ. At the time, it probably didn't occur to anyone what that might be later down the road as to what people might think when they hear the name. Anyways, also BJ Honeycutt on MASH. So, yeah. But a girl, BJ? Anyway, their plane goes down this island, and they meet the doctor in his kind of castle bungalow kind of setup in which he uses his shrinking ray to shrink them. And then they escape, and they're hiding out from him on the island as he tries to recapture them so that he can sell them as proof of concept for his shrink ray to foreign nations and such. If part of that sounds like the sci-fi horror classic Dr. Cyclops starring Albert Decker, yeah, there's some similarities. If you don't know that film, basically Decker was a mad scientist in a Mexican jungle. Some people come to check on him. He shrinks them down so that they can't tell what he's doing. And then they escape, and he chases them through the jungle. Anyway, we open with our government agent, played by Gordon Jump. Now, if you probably very familiar with Gordon Jump, his most known credits outside of tons of appearances in film and TV was he had the recurring character of the sheriff on Soap investigating Robert Urich's murder in the first season, and then he was Mr. Carlton, the big guy, on WKRP, and then it's a revival, the new WKRP that was in syndication for a couple years. Anyways, he washes up on the shore and passes out when our three teenagers find him.
BJ, the hand!
I said in a minute.
Your hand back one! Run!
Wait a minute. Wait for me.
Else one. They notice that the seal on his briefcase is for the United States government. But before they can do anything, who should pull up in their Jeep? Dr. Shrinker and his assistant.
Crashed. In the ocean. Help.
Easy there, my man. You found just the people to help you.
Isn't it nice when evil mad scientists are so cheerful? Anyways, he now plans to use this guy. Shrink him down, use him as proof of concept. Well, the Shrinkies, as our three heroes are referred to by Dr. Shrinker, decide they've got to help this guy. So they hitch a ride on the bumper of the Jeep Dr. Shrinker's using. Then back at his lab, while he's getting everything ready to shrink this guy down, in a delirious state, the man reveals some information that he probably shouldn't have.
Deliver him. Must deliver the documents. Must not fall into enemy hands.
Yes. But what documents?
The sands documents.
Ooh, the sand documents. What are the sand documents?
Did you hear that, Hugo? SANDS document? SANDS. That stands for Strategic Anti-Nuclear Defense System.
Okay, that does sound important. Well, they quickly search the man. Not on him. Where could they be? Must be back at the beach where they found him. Brad knows that because he had a briefcase with him. So, leaving BJ on watch, he and Gordy head back there. First, they do a little sabotage on the Jeep before heading out so that they can delay Dr. Shrinker. And then they get to the beach, but...
I'm telling you, it was right here.
Well, maybe we made a mistake.
No, this is the spot. Wait a minute. Do you see this trail? Somebody dragged it off.
Wonder what could have dragged it off. Well, they trail it to a little cave. And the cave is occupied.
Quick, Gordy, in here!
You know, I bet that iguana could probably track them. Luckily for them, a hawk is hovering overhead, and the iguana is scared off by it, so they make it back to the cave. The briefcase is a lot too heavy for them to pull, so they can't take it out of the cave, so they do the next best thing.
There. Climb in and get it.
Okay. You got it now.
Make sure you get the Sands document.
I got it.
Pretty smart. They head out with the document. Meanwhile, back at the lab, the doctor's assistant, Hugo, has fallen asleep. And our agent has come to. Seeing the radio, he tries to send out a message. While he's doing this, Hugo wakes up and they get into a bit of a tussle.
Hear me there? Yeah.
Guy with that microphone. I'll get you.
Let me out of here.
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
That's pretty clever. Unfortunately, BJ gives herself away and Hugo captures her. Meanwhile, back at the beach, Shrinker has arrived and he's kind of figured out what's going on with the drag marks and the little footprints he's finding, and so he's starting to hunt for the two other Shrinkies.
That was a cliffhanger if I ever saw one.
This is bad. Looks like it's all up for them. Now, this was a show that was usually in 15-minute increments, self-contained episodes. This is the only two-part episode, which is one of the reasons I decided to pick this one to highlight instead of doing two individual ones. Anyways, moving to the next episode, Hugo arrives and tells Dr. Shrinker that he's captured a Shrinky. He's locked the government man in a closet, and the government man kind of got out a radio message for help. But they should get the Shrinkies first, don't you think? Well, Brad and Gordy have their own idea on how to get away.
Brad, a paper plane made out of the Sands document? Are you sure this is gonna work? No, and there's no time to find out. Push, Gordy!
You brats, come back here.
Pretty smart thinking. Although they might have forgotten one thing from earlier.
I told you men weren't meant to fly. Hang on, Gordy. You think at a time like this I'd let go?
And now we get into some unbelievability in this thing.
What?
Well, more unbelievability. Not only do they outmaneuver the Hawk, they fly that airplane all the way back to the lab. Okay. Learning from BJ that Dr. Shrinker and Hugo are down in the basement concocting a special formula to use on the agent, Gordy and Brad decide they'll have to get up to that lock and pick it. But, well, they have a bit of a mishap due to Gordy's lack of concentration. And the agent has decided he's going to take things into his own hands.
All right out there. That was your last chance. I'm taking things into my own hands. 1, 2, 3.
Very funny.
He's not any better than Gordy. Anyway, Dr. Shrinker comes back and sees that, hey, didn't have to use his formula. He'll shrink him down. And he can hide him. And even if the rescuers do arrive, they're not going to find him. Oh, speaking of the rescuers, they're approaching. They can hear them. So, doctor's got to work quick. Brad and Gordy decide they've got to work even quicker to signal to that plane.
Okay, a little bit higher with the mirror, Gordy. Now a little bit more to the right. That's it, he's turning. It worked, he's coming down. Let's give BJ a hand. Okay.
Well, that was pretty quick thinking using the mirror on the Jeep. Meanwhile, BJ did her part by unplugging the shrink ray so that he can't shrink him down. And then while they're trying to figure out why the machine stopped, Brad and Gordy and BJ then make sure that the document is returned to its owner.
The sales document. Nobody read that. They'd come for me.
Smart thinking using that paper ball to wake him up. But Dr. Shrinker's not going to let him get away so easily. And the Shrinkies aren't going to let him stop him either.
Wait! They're gonna catch him!
No way, right, Brad?
Be my guest, BJ. The mirror's all yours. They're out!
Much to wait. All these problems are getting me down.
So, the document is safe. And we get to end on both a little slapstick and some little pithy commentary.
With any luck at all, they'll get the document before he... Gordon! Falls.
Once a klutz, always a klutz.
I hope that doesn't run in your family.
Only on Gordy's side.
To wait. All these problems are getting me down.
And thus we end on some hilarious laughter from the three heroes because Dr. Shrinker and Hugo are all jumbled up and they can't chase them, so they're allowed to do that, I guess. As a kid show, it's not bad. Nothing too scary. Just enough menace in it. You get a little worried. Special effects aren't too bad. As you saw with some of the clips, the paper airplane and some of the inserts where you see the little people and the big people in it. It's not too bad. There's also a lot of humor in it, but humor is in two different ways. First way is the slapstick of the character Gordy.
Wow. I can almost taste the home-cooked apple pie right now. BJ, remember Mom's apple pie?
Wait. All these problems are getting me down.
And then you have the interplay between Dr. Shrinker and Hugo.
He still would be if the person who built this door had done a better job. Well, I'm the person who built that door. I know, Hugo. We'll see who builds the next door.
I think it was kind of funny. But kids show, so yeah, the humor is kind of juvenile. The acting is kind of, the leads are okay. The three heroes. McKay gets a few one-liners in. Which is just they're out. But the really great entertainment is with Robinson and Barty. They just play off each other so well, and they got great on-screen chemistry. And I believe that anybody who remembers the show, as I do, they're the main reason you remember it. If there's only any downside to me, really, is the show really didn't have an opening episode. It's all shown in quick clips during the credits, where basically you see the plane, you see them get to the castle and invited in, you see them shrunk, and you see them running through the foliage. And it also didn't have an ending episode. I don't know if they ever intended to do a second season or not, but basically it just starts in the middle of the adventure and ends in the... oh, hi. And ends with, another, oh, well, we got away from him again this time. Kind of like Lost in Space never had an ending episode. But that was more due to Irwin Allen not wanting to do an ending episode. Feeling that if there was an ending to it, it wouldn't be as valuable a property to syndicate, which I think is kind of silly. The whole point of having, a plot like that is you have an ending, so that there's a resolution, like the Fugitive TV show did. But other than that, it's a fun little adventure. Gordon Jump doesn't get to do much except knock himself out several times. But 15-minute increments, you're not going to get a lot of heavy acting. But again, Robinson and Barty, they're the whole show for this. And some of the low-budget effects are okay. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
We fire first and then find out what he's saying? Hugo, even you must admit that is somewhat illogical.